You've seen the posts. Buy this specific plant, put it on your nightstand, and watch your insomnia vanish overnight. The visual promise is clear. Waking up surrounded by foliage feels like you've brought the restorative calm of the outdoors directly into your bedroom. But for a lot of beginners, trying to force that aesthetic creates a liability. Wilting leaves, waterlogged soil, and waking up to swat fungus gnats away from your face is the exact opposite of a relaxing sleep environment. Plants don't work like sleep medication. They are micro-environmental optimizers. They offer small, incremental shifts to your room's air quality or scent, not an instant pharmacological fix. This diagram shows the framework you need to use before buying anything. We call it the botanical sleep sweet spot, and it requires you to balance 3 specific constraints. First, identify your desired sleep benefit. You have to decide if you want cleaner air to breathe or a calming scent to lower your heart rate. Second is your room's environmental reality. How much natural light actually hits your nightstand? Does the room run dry or is it humid? Finally, your personal lifestyle. You have to account for how many minutes you're willing to spend watering each week and whether you have a cat or dog that treats every new leaf like a snack. A plant will only survive and actually help you if it sits right here in the center, satisfying all 3 of your constraints at once. Picking a plant purely because it looked good on a social media listicle without running it through your personal reality check is a guaranteed way to add stress to your bedtime routine. Let's look at a typical bedroom. The blinds are usually drawn and the light is relatively dim. This is the perfect environment for the air scrubbers. The heavy hitters in this category are the snake plant and aloe vera. These varieties thrive on neglect. You can place them in a shady corner, water them once a month, and they will be perfectly fine. This scorecard breaks down their profile. Notice the minimal requirements for light and water alongside a highly specific benefit, passive air filtration. They achieve this using a biological adaptation called CAM photosynthesis. While most plants absorb oxygen at night, CAM plants do the reverse. They hold their breath during the day and release oxygen entirely during the night while you sleep. The trade-off is that their work is invisible. You get pure respiratory support, but absolutely 0 relaxing aromas. Also, both the snake plant and aloe vera contain compounds that are toxic to cats and dogs if ingested. If you don't have pets and you are short on time, air scrubbers are your most efficient choice. You gain a measurable environmental benefit with almost 0 mental overhead. Now, imagine a bedroom flooded with direct, intense sunlight, almost like a greenhouse. That is the baseline requirement for the aromatherapeutic divas, a category that includes highly requested plants like lavender and jasmine. Looking at this scorecard, the demand for light and precise watering shoots way up, but in exchange, you secure the potential for olfactory relaxation. The biological efficacy here is highly documented. Inhaling these specific molecules actively lowers your heart rate and reduces pre-sleep anxiety. But generating those essential oils requires massive amounts of energy. These plants mandate hours of direct sunlight and strict moisture control that a standard bedroom simply cannot provide naturally. If you place a lavender plant on a shady nightstand, within weeks it will drop its flowers and start decaying from the roots up. Unless you are willing to install a specialized LED grow light and monitor the soil daily, aromatic plants will cause aesthetic decay and frustration, totally negating any relaxation you hope to gain. Let's step back into a standard, moderately lit bedroom. This middle ground works well for the heavy-duty humidifiers, specifically plants like the peace lily and English ivy. These plants excel at targeted respiratory support. They constantly release moisture to boost ambient humidity, and their leaves act as physical traps for airborne mold spores. This scorecard highlights a moderate requirement for light, but a major red flag when it comes to pet safety, alongside that strong humidity benefit. To keep their filtration systems running, they demand a strict, consistent watering schedule. If the soil dries out, the benefits stop. The most critical trade-off is their defense mechanism. These plants are highly toxic to chewers. You cannot casually leave them sitting on a low dresser if an animal is in the house. To keep them safely in a house with pets, they require extreme spatial isolation, like a floating shelf securely mounted near the ceiling. They are undeniably powerful tools for optimizing your breathing, but their toxicity makes them a significant liability. For pet owners, keeping these plants requires strict, constant vigilance. Ultimately, success requires choosing the plant that fits the room you actually have, not the room you wish you had. This flowchart maps out the safest paths to your ideal plant, starting with the most critical exclusionary factor. Do you have pets? If you do, and your bedroom doesn't get much sun, skip the peace lily. Root straight to a spider plant or a Boston fern. They are non-toxic, highly forgiving alternatives that still filter the air. If you don't have pets and want maximum benefits for minimum effort, follow the path to the low-maintenance option. That leads you directly to the snake plant. It is the most reliable recommendation for a time-poor optimizer seeking nighttime oxygen. And if you're a dedicated enthusiast chasing genuine olfactory relaxation, you have to be willing to put in the work. True indoor aromatherapy requires buying a targeted LED grow light for your lavender. If you aren't ready for that daily commitment, a simple essential oil diffuser is a more practical tool for the job. Curating bedroom greenery is simply an exercise in lifestyle matching. When you align a plant's needs with your own environment, you gain a small, sustainable edge in your nightly search for rest.